What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Cjthecheesedj here, and guys, it has been a massive day today for Ark. So they've announced Ark 2, and you guys should see the trailer on the channel. If you haven't already seen it, which more than likely you have, they did play it during the Game Awards. Today, guys, though, we're going to be breaking down the trailer. So we're going to be going through it, taking a look at some of the new stuff, and of course, Vin Diesel, of course, because he's in this. And we're just going to be giving our thoughts and all that sort of stuff on it. So you can see here's the trailer here. So without further ado, let's get into it. Now, I apologize if it looks a little choppy in some parts. This is directly from the stream. But first off, we've already got our first dino. So there's a little... you actually don't get to see it here. There's a little dino. You can see him just under the bottom here. That he's actually one of these flowers. So his mouth is this entire flower. So straight off the bat, we've already got a new dino. Just like chilling over here. There he is there. You can see him just there. Let's play it a little bit more. You can see him just there. So straight off the bat, there's already a new dino. Now, this guy is very small, so I don't know whether or not he'll be tameable in the actual new game. If anything, I think it's more so just for sort of the aesthetic appeal. You can see him there. He's kind of like a little chameleon lizard gecko flower thing. Nonetheless, we've also got Vin Diesel here, and he's talking. It's time to go, little one, he says, pretty much. Now, another thing that I want to point out as well is once we get the rest of the tribe in the picture here, so you can see Vin Diesel's got a little crown. She's got a crown. We've got a bunch of people behind us carrying a what appears to be food. As well as that, if we come down here, I apologize, guys. The trailer does go very, very fast. We've got the girl's mum here. So this is the girl's mum just here, and she's sporting a bow and arrow. And if we come across here, you'll see that she's also got a dinosaur egg in this little sachet. So, and that's, as far as I can tell, not a dinosaur egg that we have seen in Ark. Obviously, it's a little bit harder to tell because it is a computed, it's like a CGI trailer, so we don't really know. But if we take a look here, they are carrying something, probably dinner, and there are quite a few of them. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I believe there's another guy there. There's 7 of them there all together. If we keep playing it, you can also see that Mr. Vin Diesel here has a different sort of spear than we've seen before in any of the games. So possibly a new weapon, which honestly would be pretty cool, but it's not like your primitive standard spear. It's more alongside the terms of the pike. So let's keep playing here, but definitely potential to be a new weapon. I want to back it up here a second as well, because I want to see if we can kind of see what the animal is that they're holding. It's got claws, so I'm definitely thinking it's some sort of bird, possibly, like a terror bird or something. It's a bit hard to kind of make out what it is, but there are quite a few of them, and if we look closely at the other survivors that are with Vin Diesel, they don't actually have the sort of crown structure that he has going on with his thing. So obviously it's meant to signify that he's in charge. This thing up here, it's also got a sort of gem in it. So I don't know if that's going to have anything to do with it, but so far, yeah. So we've got the girl's mum, and they're pretty much coming under attack here. So from what you could say another tribe, because if you look closely at these guys, they've all got sort of blue war paint on them. So it's very, very easy to understand that they'd be all sort of tribed up kind of thing, because they all have the same sort of tattoos and stuff like that. And you can see here that none of the other ones are wearing any sort of signet crown with the gem in the middle of it, which makes me even think more that, you know, he's kind of the leader at the moment, which... You wouldn't obviously hire Vin Diesel if you weren't going to make him the freaking leader, of course. So we've got these dudes here. Now, as well as that, these guys also have new weapons. Now, we'll see if we can pause it here. This guy in the background here, he's got 2 sort of hooked scythes, sort of hand claws stuff. So you can see him clapping them together. So there's some new weaponry up there. This guy's obviously got new bone armor. She, over here, also has a sort of more primitive spear. You can see there, that's definitely the spears that we're sort of used to. This guy back here also has a knife. We haven't seen that before in Ark, obviously. So that's pretty exciting. Mr. Vin Diesel's going to get his cloak off here and get ready to go down and smack some suckers in the head. We've got Mum protecting the kid. So in total, there's how many of them? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, so there is 7 of them. So there's 7 of them. We've got the big chieftain of the other tribe coming up to Vin Diesel looking for a little bit of a tussle. He wants a bit of a fight with Vinny. And straight off the bat, you can actually see that these guys are bigger and more, I'd say different looking, but like scarier looking. So these guys could obviously be a rival tribe, or they could be an entire different race of sort of humans that you get the opportunity to play as. Because if you also look at their leg structure, let's come back here a little bit. So their legs are sort of also more bent in, so they're kind of more canine. If we take a look here, it's a bit hard to try and get it right at the right sort of section. Their legs are slightly more bent in than your standard humans would be, which means that these guys, yeah, there you go. That was a good shot. Hold on, let's back up here a bit. You can see there, they're definitely more bent in. So it doesn't look like these would be able to straighten out, because I would say he's at his full height. So it's very possible that these guys aren't even human. They're just like a completely different sort of race. We could go like, kind of reminded me of orcs almost, because orcs have that sort of hunched over stature as well. But you can see here Vin is smiting them down with his new spear. He's pulling out all the moves, but this guy's also wearing new armor. But once again, we could be playing as two different sort of races here. We don't have 100% confirmation. This guy in the background's got a pretty cool helmet. Vin pulls out a little hatchet. And this is where things get exciting. So first off, we've got some birds. Got some new birds here. They kind of look like Archaeopteryxes, just in the sort of CGI effects. So that's a possibility. But nonetheless, they could be new dinos as well. They also kind of look like ducks. I'm not going to lie. Vin's getting... And here's the big boy of the hour, the T-Rex. Well, I mean, I'm assuming it's a T-Rex. He looks very T-Rexy. However, it looks like they've gone sort of more with a more streamlined approach and more historically accurate one with the... I say historically accurate, but like who was alive back then. From dinosaur fossils, they've got like the feathers along the ridgeline here, which is more accurate with what the actual dinosaurs did have. But this is where things start getting intense. So all of our other tribe mates are still alive. They're all still functioning. There's the mum there. She runs off. Forget the kid. We've got this beauty right here in front of us, looking absolutely menacing. Mum just leaves the kid behind, and for some for God's knows reason, the kid decides to turn around and stare down at T-Rex and yelling straight out of the grooves. And one of the other tribe mates gets absolutely eaten. Vin Diesel's still fighting the other guys. This big dude here had a huge club, so definitely potential for new weapons. Based off the trailer, based off the weapons and the fighting style, I'm going to say it's very similar to like Conan Exiles. So it's possible that they've taken some aspects of that as well, because Conan Exiles was a semi-successful game as far as I was aware, and they have, you know, it looks like they've taken some of this combat style out of that so far. But this is an absolutely menacing shot right here and absolutely terrifying. Vin ain't scared though, he's Vin Diesel. So they're still running. We've got this other chick, she's ready to face down this guy. But, and there's a guy sneaking up from behind her. Obviously, for some reason, it does appear that they're going after the child. Now, they could just be trying to kill everyone in the tribe, to be honest. That's a very high possibility. And they just want the kid to possibly eat or just to kill. But they seem pretty focused on getting the kid. Nonetheless, Vin Diesel throws his hatchet at this dude and it strikes him in the shoulder. And we're going to pause right here. But you can see what I mean about the fighting style from like Conan and Exiles. T-Rex is coming through. He's not having any of it. This guy gets impaled with a spear. And they're running off. Now, this part here is where you can pretty much tell that they could possibly be human, but they could also possibly not be. They could be like more a prehistoric sort of human. Their nose is kind of more caved in. Their teeth are obviously not normal human teeth. And they do look like they have eyes more attuned to the dark, I would say, in comparison to like Vin Diesel and his tribe. But nonetheless, this guy's absolutely shitting his pants as you would, because he's about to get munched on by a T-Rex. He pulls out Vin's hatchet and he's running off. And you can see there that the T-Rex is trying to catch him. He's trying to get away, poor sucker. She's throwing a little bit of a taunt back at him. And Rexy Boy grabs the last dude and walks away. We get a cave in here, though. They are in a cave now. Now, this is where things get really interesting. And this is pretty much where things are guaranteed that it was Ark. So, they have lights on their arms. And it's their specimen implants. Now, obviously, this is very Ark right here. This is what gave it away. So, that's... Each of them have a specimen implant. So, Vin and, I'm assuming, his daughter. Which is interesting, because if she was naturally conceived on the Arks, why would she have a specimen implant for? Which makes me think that he was captured. Well, you'll see why. Let's just keep playing the trailer. You'll see why. So we're in some sort of ship, some tech ship. Now, this is where things get really cool and interesting. There's kind of like a teleporter gate. And I don't know if you guys have seen, there's an actual mod for Ark right now where, well, there is a mod that actually has these and they are teleporters. So that's kind of why it's reminiscent of a teleporter. Now, the girl comes over to some stones here, And you can see that there are a bunch of cave paintings, essentially. There's an arm there with a survivor implant. We've got a parasaur. We've got a trike. We've got a rex. And each of these are tamed. Each of these are tamed. Now, another interesting factor is that the one with the parasaur also has a bow. And they did release a trailer for Helena, for an animated series. So it makes me think that this is sort of Helena. But another cool aspect is that we've also got all these other dinos up here. And Helena. The bot Helena, plus an obelisk up here. So this is taking part post-Genesis, I'm assuming, because Helena came out with Genesis. She helped us get through Genesis and all that sort of stuff, defeat the Master Controller, and we ended up on the ship. So I'm assuming Arc 2 is taking place after Arc Survival Evolved. We'll find out when Genesis Part 2 drops, but I'm definitely saying that this is post-Arc Survival Evolved, because Helena is carved on these stone structures. Now, another really cool aspect as well is over here we've got like a Milky Way almost, and a bunch of hands with some like some like star patterns through them. Let's keep playing here though. So there's another stone structure over here that's to, I'm assuming, insinuate that it took place in space. But we've definitely got an obelisk, definitely Helena over here. It also looks like these guys in the back row are that same sort of dude that just got eaten by the T-Rex. So there's a very high possibility that these guys will be an enemy in Genesis 2 as well. They could be created by Rockwell, some like malformed humans or corrupted humans even. That's actually a possibility. So corrupted humans could be a thing in Genesis 2, and they've actually escaped Genesis 2 and made their way to this arc. But let's keep playing the trailer here. We've also got some more stone structures in the background here. Now, we don't get to get a really good sight at what those are, but we do get a sight of this. And this is straight up out of that tech ship that we end up in from at the end of Genesis 1 after you beat Rockwell. Hands down. That's one of the escape pods or one of the survivor pods. And you'll see why in a second here. Now, we come up to Vin Diesel comes up to like a tech, I don't know what you'd call it, an information panel. So this is where things get interesting. We're going to pause it right here. Okay, so what we've got here is Santiago da Costa. Now, he was present on the extinction map. He's actually mentioned in the survival notes, the survivor notes. So he's actually gone and made it to another arc. Now, we take a look at here. We've got genetic sequence complete. So he's got his full genetic sequence. Engram imprinting incomplete, which I'm assuming means his engrams learnt is incomplete. But we've also got cloning access, which says restricted. Now, a part of me wonders if this is pertaining to him being cloned upon death. Like what happens in Ark at the moment, where if you die, you obviously respawn and stuff like that. So I'm assuming that he doesn't have access to this on this new planet, which is why this says restricted. Now, we've also got a bunch of information here. We've got sex, we've got height, weight, blood. I can't exactly see what that is. Ancestry, temporal origin. We've got regional origin. We've got citizenship, aptitude, I believe, and then fluence, so language. So yeah, fluent. So we've got ancestry, indigenous, which means he is indigenous to the Arks. We've got temporal origin, 24th century AD. So he's from the 24th century. Regional origin, Sao Paulo municipality. I don't know what, I know that's a country. I apologize for butchering the name of it, but he's from that place. And his citizenship is Terrain Federation. So he was on that Federation ship, which is where obviously we've gotten this escape pod from. So I'm assuming that Santiago has also escaped the simulation like we do for Genesis 1, which is why he's got this tech pod next to him. And then he's obviously his aptitude, so engineering, strategy, creativity. So I'm pretty sure Santiago was actually the creator, not the creator, but one of the designers of the mech on Extinction. So that means that he is very smart and very weapons-based. And we've also got fluency, so Portugal, Spanish, and English. So there's a lot of stuff going on with Santiago, but he was on Extinction, and I'm pretty sure he was the one that designed the mechs, which is really exciting. So let's keep going here. Now, you can see here it says Genesis System, and we're going to play it again. Now, if we come back a smidge, there's a bunch of options here. So we're going to like fast forward. There's like a specimen implant one down the bottom here, and this is like information.
Lights out.
Now, if we go back a little bit, it also says historical archive, simulation data, system access logs, performance records, genomic liberty, and then engram liberty, I'm assuming. But he's actually purging it, which to me assumes that he's getting rid of all his previous data of all the arcs. And you also hear him say goodbye, old friend. So we'll come back a little bit here.
Lights out, old friend.
And you can see there, he says, lights out, old friend. So he's obviously been a part of the arcs for a while, and he's saying goodbye to his tech pod because he's happy to settle down on this planet by the sounds of it, by the looks of things. And you can see here it's all turning red because he's purging it, and you'll see that everything goes dark as well. And we're under the assumption that he's saying goodbye to it all. He gets out of the cave. Don't know where his tribe is, but we've got, straight off the bat, we've got some pteranodons over here with some newly designed wings as well, by the looks of it. And in the distance, we've also got some brontosauruses running around over here, what I'm assuming are brontos. But we also have a brand new planet as well, by the looks of things, which look really dope. And there we get the trailer, the logo for Arc 2, and that only confirms that it's Arc 2, obviously. We already knew that. We've got a planet behind us as well over here, a moon of that planet, another moon and planet over here. So there's a lot going on. And you can see the girl's absolutely stoked to be here. She's absolutely raring to go. So it's really intense. It's really good. There's a lot of stuff that they can definitely do with that. So I'm definitely keen to see where they take that. But it's looking really good, guys. So Santiago, though, he's definitely one of the ones that were on the previous arcs as well. So I'm assuming he's completed the Genesis program alongside Helena. Which is why these cave paintings are here as well. Because it's obvious that he was the one that may have created them. Because notice how he's actually not looking at the cave paintings. It's only the little girl. So I'm assuming he was the one that created these. And obviously he would have needed to have gone to Genesis to know about Helena. So he's made his way to this arc now as well. Because yeah, notice how he doesn't look at it. He just looks at the girl looking at him. Kind of as if like he's remembering himself being in her shoes, creating those structures. So it's pretty interesting, pretty intense. They're definitely going for a more story-based sort of lore. When Arc 1 dropped, they kind of didn't really have too much lore behind it. They had the Explorer notes, but there wasn't really much story there. So, yeah, but you can see here, all his stuff, he gets deleted. So, yeah, pretty intense, pretty exciting, though. There's definitely a lot of stuff. Hopefully they introduce new dinos and stuff like that. You can already see here that there's already a couple. And judging by this enemy sort of tribe, I'm assuming that, yeah, this guy, these guys might be a different playable sort of character, or they might be bad dudes that are hostile, like natives even. That's actually a very good possibility that they could be natives to the island, to the Ark, or wherever it is that they are. Another cool thing that we just noticed, well, I noticed it earlier, I just didn't make a note of mentioning it, is, hold on one sec, we see a guy from Vin's tribe. This guy at the front here, it looks like he's actually got an egg basket on his back. He's running, and those look like eggs to me, as he's running away from big old scary Rex boy. You can see there, there's like some bouncing stuff. It definitely looks like he's got a bunch of eggs in there. So it looks like these guys are out hunting and stuff. But this T-Rex, absolutely menacingly dope. And she also has the sort of signet that Vin Diesel has. So it makes me wonder if Vin Diesel and her are the only ones with the specimen implants. It's hard to say. More than likely, the rest of his tribe would have the specimen implants as well, but we only do see Vin's tribe, Vin and his, I'm assuming his daughter, but it's hard to say. Nonetheless, guys, it looks really cool. Hopefully you guys have seen the trailer already. Definitely check it out. We're going to be covering this as well. We're going to have a couple more videos coming out today for Arc 2, mainly discussing what they're doing with the console launches. So stay tuned for that, guys. But if you haven't subscribed already, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe down below for more, and I will catch you in the next one.